The good, the evil, the danger, clash of the titans, the combat, the courage, the splendor, the spectacle. Clash of the Titans.
Despite the calls for equality, the anti-discriminatory campaigning, the desire to break down walls and integrate the warring factions, there are times when you must choose your side, and this is no less true in gaming. Many games these days go as far as presenting you with that choice. Will you be the red team or the blue team, the rebels or the empire, cops or the robbers? But some choices go deeper than simply deciding on the clothes that your character will wear or the direction you'll be shooting. And it's these choices, the ones that once made cannot be unmade, the ones that define you as a person, those are the choices I'm interested in. At certain points in our lives we reach a fork. Two paths lay ahead with no right or wrong, just different destinations. So let's go back to one of those momentous moments in our gaming lineage and ask the question, why? There are a multitude of examples that can be drawn on. Atari or ColecoVision, Mario or Sonic, Spectrum or Commodore. But when you throw in one of the world's greatest divisionary inventions, team sport, then the choice becomes even more pertinent. So choose your side, raise your flag high, go back to your corner and come out fighting for the first weekend gamer head-to-head. Kick-off or sensible soccer? Where to start in this veritable can of worms? Well, it's probably best to nail my colours to the mast right at the beginning and proclaim loud and proud that my name's SirClive and I love kick-off.
And now it's time for live virtual stadium action with John Monson. Over to you, John.
My footballing history has taken me through some fantastic games, from Matchday on the Spectrum and the superbly comic kick and run in the arcades, to the corporate whore that is FIFA. But nothing would leave such an impression on me the way Kick-Off did. The super speed at which the players hammered down the wings and the tricks that could be performed such as lobs, swerves, headers and volleys made me feel like a professional, and though the presentation wasn't up to much, this felt like real football. This was gaming's match of the day, strong and dependable with a few flashy moments, but always a bit gritty and more than a little ugly.
That is the fattest bottom end I've ever heard.
Oh, he had to score from there.
Well, that's not the way I see it.
Don't you ever wash those socks? This reminds me of touring with the Sex Pistols. Doesn't the drummer ever get tired?
I was to stay with the series through Kick-Off 2, Goal, which was Kick-Off 3 in all but name, and the fantastically inventive Player Manager.
Good stuff.
Even now in the days of the FIFA and Pro Evolution domination, I yearn for the simple, pure football that Kick-Off gave me. The game does have some serious haters though, such as Stuart Campbell, the ex-Amiga format editor, whose alleged vendetta against the franchise has amazingly been claimed to have caused its downfall. Stuart's own views on the saga can be read on his website.
A ripping little solo. And on my watch there are only a few seconds left. And the final whistle's gone. And he's on.
So it's half-time. Has Anko's classic done enough to take the title? Well, after a quick half-time pep talk, we'll find out.
Have you heard what the crowd is shouting? Bastards and bastards and bastards and they shouldn't be shouting at me. It should be shouting at you. And you know why? Because it's in half-time and we're 2-0 down to the Mexicans. Wrong with it. Get your fingers out. Where's your bottle gun? I can't pay attention when I'm talking to you. If you don't want to wear the shit off, there's thousands of kids out there who die put that shit on. Back on the field, show what you can do, or off home on the plane. You got that?
Well, I don't know about you, but that certainly got me motivated. Sensible Software kick-started the top-down football revolution with the excellent Microprose Soccer on the Commodore 64, but it was Sensible Soccer that set the world alight. This was a game so full of smooth presentation and colour, it was the Sky Sports of video games. The game took football sims into a new era, all pizzazz and cheerleading. Better looking and better sounding, it had the general public under its spell. This was the Premier League, the next evolution, the start of the new world, where megastars were born and the weak were never going to survive.
That is a man full of confidence. He just hit it on the up, didn't hesitate, struck it well, and Khan, although he got a hand to it, couldn't hold on to it.
Sensible Soccer followed the same formula that all Sensi games were to hold true. Fun is the key. This was no simulation, it was an all-out goal fest of a game that you played with a smile on your face rather than the gritted teeth you had whilst playing kick-off.
30 yards out, zips off the top, what a strike.
I first encountered the game when one of the Amiga magazines of the day carried a First Goal Wins demo on its cover mount. It was an amazingly playable game, and a friend and I lost hours on end to it, racking up a ridiculous tally of something like 34 games to 42, the perfect quick blast. But for me, that was all it could ever be. Upon purchasing the full game, I was left feeling a little empty by its arcadey nature, something akin to racing a full Grand Prix season in a dragster. I can easily see why many people prefer Sensible Soccer, in the same way that I can see why some people prefer the Commodore 64 to the Spectrum. It has all the component parts that should make it a world beater. But for me, it just lacks that little je ne sais quoi. Sensible Soccer certainly has the X factor, it just doesn't have soul. But that's the best thing about these forks in our lives, these decisions that define us. It's the banter that comes into play when we meet someone with opposing views. So now you know my true colours, why don't you go on the forum and tell me where my life went wrong.